How do you feel with the rash of artists in the last 6 months that are trying to be the new Tupac? People saying this person is a new Tupac. For example, we interviewed Boosie.
My next album, I'm naming it Tupac, man.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Like Tupac.
Tupac.
People gonna get on you for this.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a big old thing, but it's in my heart, and that's what I want to do. I'm naming it Tupac. It's a double disc, 26 songs. Because I'm my generation Tupac.
Man, shout out to Boosie, man. You know what I mean? We got love for Boosie,
And if you've ever been to the South and been to a party or a club or a Boosie concert, he Pac down there.
I love that dude.
You know what I'm saying? They love Boosie to death. You know what I'm saying? Specifically in the South. I'm sure he got fans all over the world. But specifically down there in that Southern market, I've seen chicks crying. You know what I mean? Because dude was coming to the club or he just left the club or, you know what I'm saying? So for them, you know what I mean? And I've said this before on record with you, Pac is the benchmark. You know what I'm saying? As a hip hop artist, pretty much until somebody surpasses that benchmark, he is the pinnacle. You know what I mean? If you striving for greatness, if you want universal love, if you want the streets, the women, you know what I mean, the niggas, if you want all that love, you got to get to that Pac level.
And let me say this, man. From the beginning, as soon as Pac passed, rappers was, grabbing at the image.
True story.
Of trying to flip different songs. You know what I mean? So it was like, I remember one day, right after Pac passed, his mom was like, we had to get out the house in California and all that. She knew we was lost, we was fucked up, and we didn't know what to do at that point. So she begged us, please come stay with me in Atlanta for a couple months. You know what I mean? Just to clear y'all head, figure out what y'all next move gonna do. So we took her up on that. You know what I mean? Gaddafi died in the process, but I remember we was down there. Back then there wasn't no internet or no shit like that. So you get your information from the magazines or, such and such is doing an interview on New York radio and the homies hear it, they call it, such and such said this. So, different information about Pac. But I remember somebody had said something about Pac. I don't remember who it was, but a celebrity said something about Pac, and we was in the house and we was discussing it, you know what I mean? And we was basically, ready to respond however we was gonna respond. And his mom came in and thing that I'll never forget. She barked on us, and she was basically like, you guys are gonna have to develop thick skin. Tupac don't belong to y'all. People are gonna talk about him until your dying fucking day. She was like, if y'all wanna die early, listen to what these people saying about Tupac.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His mom told us that, man. And we was like, what could we say? This is his mom telling us this. So we had to learn back then, man, that, people are gonna discuss Tupac, they're gonna take from him. Trust me, if we paid attention to everything, we'd have a beef every fucking day, bro.
Right.
I'd have been dead. I'd have been locked up for killing somebody if we paid attention to every single thing, as soon as he died, man, these rappers was flipping songs and shit, damn near,
right.
You know what I mean? It was crazy. I'm talking about from the very beginning. So over the years, man, it's we had to develop that where certain things is if Boosie want to name his album Tupac, man, shout out to Boosie, man.
Right.
If Troy Ave want to name his new album Tupac,
New Pac.
let him do it, man. We ain't about to be over here ready to go to war with these dudes behind this shit.
Because I think
Pac the greatest, man.
Because I remember at one point, I think Ja Rule compared himself to Tupac.
I mean, a lot of people
he put
did,
crosses.
Man.
He had crosses on his back, which a lot of people thought was similar to Tupac.
I remember Rule did an interview. One of them interviews, it was like, y'all want to see Pac? He back. Oh, you know what I mean?
He's here. Yeah.
You know, I mean, shout out to Rule, man. Him and Fader was rocking real tough for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Ja Rule's the homie, man. I fuck with him.
Yeah, man, cool dude, man. So
very
at the end of the day, bro,
everybody did.
You know,
it's
crazy,
more
man.
rappers it's less rappers that didn't.
Right.
Than that did. You
Right.
know what I mean? And shout out to the ones that didn't too, man. They deserve.
That's the
some
thing,
credit as
Vlad.
well.
You know, people want us to be the Outlaws from 1996, man. I was 18 years old when Tupac died, bro. I'm 39 years old now. You know what I mean? It's like we done learned so much in this game, man. And you know, we trying to keep this movement moving to the next level in a positive fashion. Me and Edie are, you know, we went from soldiers to generals, man. You know what I mean? So we got a whole movement, man, that look up to us, that ride with us, and it's our job as leaders to steer them in the right direction. If they see the Outlaws going crazy, trust me, shit could get real crazy, bro. East Coast to West Coast, you feel me? To overseas, you know what I mean? So you know, we not making retarded decisions that we used to make when we was fucking children. We grown ass men. And we moving accordingly, you know what I mean?
And I think it's just really sad when you look at the Outlaws, and everyone in the Outlaws should be alive right now, based on their age.
We was a group of
you
seven.
guys are all young guys still.
We was a group of seven, man.
And
we
how
down
many?
to two, bro.
Down to two.
You know what I mean?
Well, who's the one member who just doesn't want to do anything rap related? Me and you.
Castro.
Castro.
Right.
Right. Me
And
still-
Napoleon as well.
Napoleon, right. They're both alive. They just don't want to be
Of course,
associated
of course.
with
And
them.
they still outlaws. That's
They're
for
still
them for
outlaws.
life, no doubt.
But then how many members, Fatal died in a car crash?
2015, yo.
And then one of the members was killed.
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi
He
was
died
killed.
2 months after Tupac died. You know, he got killed by Napoleon's cousin. You know what I mean? So, this game for me, it's been nothing but from the very beginning. I never been able to enjoy this shit. Tupac died before any record, that I recorded with him even came out. So it's like I get in the group and, these guys died, man. You know what I mean? This shit been like, we fighting battles every other. You know what I mean? This shit been nuts, man.
Well, there was an interview with E40 that he talked about how Tupac told him that he was working on an album that was supposed to be released after he died. He said, he was talking about Pac, he said he was there and he was telling me about, how he had an album for when he died. So now I think about it like, you build your catalog if you're serious about being in the industry and carving your identity in the history books, and you're going to continuously stay in the studio so your name can live on forever.
I never heard Pac.
I mean, that's what Outlaw Immortals was about. You know what I mean? When we started that whole movement, and he came up with that phrase, Outlaw Immortals. His exact thinking was, what we doing now gonna live forever. We immortal. You know what I'm saying? This is immortality, essentially, what we're doing.
You famous,
you know what I'm saying? So Outlaw
live forever.
Immortals, we gonna live forever, and that's where Outlaw Immortals came from. So he was always thinking post, being here. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like he never imagined himself getting old and being here that long. I know he wanted to live, and this wasn't a person I was walking around, hoping to die. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like he never saw himself growing old.
Yeah.
I've heard this before. I've talked to, I think it might have been QD3, where he said that there was an urgency of getting as much music done because Pac didn't feel like he was going to be around.
Well, a lot of that urgency had to do with the fact that he was out on bail. A lot of people talk about that time period when he got out of jail.
They forget to speak on that, though.
And he was working feverishly, but he was out on bail and he
coulda
didn't
went
know.
back to jail.
Right.
He didn't know. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't know. Like, he literally could have went back to jail. He could have blew trial. You know what I mean? He already blew trial, but he could have definitely got bail revoked, and you know what I mean? Anything was possible. It wasn't like he was out on jail and he was free.
So the urgency, because people just, I guess people kind of assume once Pac got out of jail, he was really out, but he was just out on bail.
Exactly.
Right.
So if he ended up, blowing trial, essentially, he would have went back for how many years?
He would have had to do that sentence. It was 1.5 to 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So he had only did around 7.5 months.
Okay, so it wasn't, 4 years is...
Oh yeah, 4
Some
years.
time. That dude did not want to go back to jail, period.
Right.
Absolutely not.
And that shit was on his mind every fucking day.
How badly was Pac treated in prison by the COs?
I mean, you know, he definitely wasn't their favorite inmate. You know what I'm saying? Because prior to that, he had the situation with the police. He was on record as far as about how he felt about law enforcement. You know, you would have to go to Dannemora, New York, to understand what kind of town this was. And you know, I spent my 21st birthday up there, and you know, this is not the kind of town where you see a lot of this, unless it's in that big prison, which everybody works at. You know, mom, dad, brother, sister, everybody works for the prison. That's the main shit up there in Dannemora. So, you know, they wasn't definitely happy about him. He definitely, I remember him telling us, you know, he heard the word nigga a lot, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't making it up out of here, and when we know about your people, we know where you from, we know about your lineage. They knew what was up. They knew the name and everything. So I mean, it was definitely an attempt to, I believe, break his spirit, but that was like a exercise in futility. You wasn't gonna break Pac's spirit.